Good afternoon. Um, we expect it to be like that, so welcome to the AI panel in the Israel Mobile Summit. I think it's the most important and exciting panel that we will have today. In one sentence, we have seen recently how AI is shaking our industry and how the generative AI is going to disrupt the way we monetize, the way we analyze our application, and so on. From our experience in Playtika and before in the army, it has a lot of potential. And for this reason, we have gathered this forum of senior managers to hear about your challenges, to hear how are you going to change your companies and what the benefits that you have already seen from this revolution, maybe the most important one for the next years. So let's start to get to know you. Share with us your company, your personal journey with AI from different perspectives.
Okay, hi, I'm Karen. My background is actually in digital marketing. It's so nice to see people from Matomi here. And we started Beach Bum in 2015. It's a social gaming company focused on traditional evergreen board and card games. And it is super interesting, really fun. We have Backgammon, Lord of the Board, Spades Royale, Gin, Remy Stars, and it goes on, dominoes as well. So we really focus on games that have the continuous generations that come and play. And as everyone else will say, you know, engagement, monetization, all the buzzwords which are very important to maintaining the business. So we sit in Ra'anana in Israel. Over 95% of the company is there. We were acquired by Voodoo about a year and a half ago. And I know I laugh about it too sometimes. And no, they're great. And that's about it. We're about 250 people and enjoying. And one last thing, my kids love my job. So just for that, it's worth being in the gaming industry.
Thank you, Karen.
Yes. Oh, sorry.
Hello, everybody. My name is Dennis. We built Readdle. It's been almost 15 years now. On day one of the App Store, we've been there, and we've been building productivity and utility apps. So now we have 5 different products across our portfolio. You might have heard of Spark Email. You might have used Scanner Pro or PDF Expert or Calendars. So basically, all those tools that help you save time and be more productive and do more with your iPads and iPhones. And it's been quite a journey. We've never raised any capital. Over 200 million people got our apps, and we're about 16 to 20 million monthly active users. And we've done that all organically. So we've never done proper user acquisition and performance marketing. So that's why I'm here. I'm happy to learn, and now we're hiring like a new team to focus on performance. So I feel like I have a lot to learn from you guys, because I've been building mostly on brand and product-based things. And yeah, we grew to 300 people now, originally from Ukraine. And that's where half of the team is there. But now, because of the war, obviously, the team is spread out. So we have to learn how to operate in this new environment and how to move the company from being in 2 offices into now being online mostly. And AI has been very interesting, and I have some good things to share about AI. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Dan. I'm 13 years in the gaming industry. Started at the Playtika when it was like, very small, back then. Since then, I've been doing a couple of games. Working in other companies, also in the gaming industry, doing casual games, casino games, hyper-casual games. Joined JamCity about a year ago. JamCity is a company based in LA, and there are like studios around the world. I manage a studio in Toronto and another one in Berlin. And the company itself is doing a lot of games with IP. So we're working with Disney a lot, with Harry Potter, Jurassic Park. It's like all several of IPs, very interesting ones. You mentioned about kids, so my kids look at the games that I do at JamCity, and they get envy on the other titles that I don't manage. That because our games don't have a real IP. I'm doing mostly bingo game, mahjong game, and a solitaire one. And yeah, we are now starting to explore everything that has to do with AI. Super interesting, and yeah, we'll share more soon.
Awesome. Good afternoon, dear Tel Aviv. It's the first time for me here, and I heard that it's a city which never sleeps. So we'll check that one for sure. Yeah, exactly. Looking forward to it. So my name is Arthur. I'm 15 years in digital marketing industry and edtech industry. Was representing different companies and building them from scratch in the European markets mainly, from the international research, from the edtech perspective, was building also the Twitter co-piloted type of a performance edtech platform, together with like US guys from the Twitter HQs. Last 2 years spent at the TikTok as a head of performance and gaming across the Central European markets. We covered around 15 markets over there, so very heavily into the new trends, right? How they're like rising, what's driving them, how users are switching the mindset, as well as marketers from the old way traditional static images to more engaging one, UGCs. And now I joined the new rocket ship. It's a US founded company for around like 6 years called Bidease. It's a programmatic machine learning and AI, which is a very great word here, and we need to count how many times we're gonna pronounce AI today. As on a Google I/O, it was around 140. So let's try to make it more. So AI, AI, AI. Today it's a main word, and the Bidease it's built on the machine learning and AI, right? So it's meant for the user acquisition, retargeting type of the campaigns on a scale with a global coverage with around like 7.6 billion devices available at our fingertips, with many different like interesting know-hows and optimizations ways. So we do work with different types of customers, from gaming, non-gaming, and so on. Yep.
Thank you, Arthur. So let's start with you. Can you share how has your company leveraged AI? If you can share some kind of successful implementation and maybe bad one, and what can we take from this experience?
Yeah, for sure. So, sorry, it's pretty short. Okay, it's better now. No
It's
worries.
not AI.
It's yeah, exactly. So we still need to have that human touch, and it will still be there. So for sure, AI is not a future anymore. It's already here. It's present. But like some industries are not yet ready for that due to the law, right? How the content is generated and created. So in edtech industry, AI is a long ago, right? So it's very heavily used in terms of using the data we are receiving from the different data providers, from the devices, to create the very mature user buckets, right? Where we do know the history, the behavior of the users, and based on that we can predict the future, right? So it's very crucial for each and every advertiser to be able to reach the audience as fast as possible, which converts well, which has a great ROI, and for that one, we're also like trying to discover more into the predictive LTVs, right? The predictive ROAS modeling for a conversion value optimization, which will totally change the gameplay. And it was kind of always available for us, but it's we had to invest a lot, right? Now it's very changed. The accessibility of the technology is much faster, much cheaper, and we can work with a more scale data like seamlessly, almost lifetime, right? So
Good.
Without delays.
Thank you. And we would be interesting to hear Karen and Dennis about personalization. So the best game experience is the personalized one. We know this field. Can you share a bit how AI contributes for this new user experience, and what can you share with the audience about it?
Yeah, definitely. Well, in general, I think AI enables us to access much more information from the data that we have and enables us to take anything about new users or existing users and personalize it a bit more. So what up until now has been done manually with segmentation and automation, and well, automation on the platform, but people would have to run the scripts and understand all the data. Now we can easily put in whether it's the name, and I think everyone here kind of feels it in the emails even, right, in the newsletters you get. And in the end, you know, everyone's favorite word is your name, because you hear it the most, more than AI even. And in general, I think it just enables everyone to take a step up. In the end, also, those who go ahead and do it will stand out. Like, now is the opportunity for everyone to embrace it instead of shun away from AI with fear, not understanding. And, you know, we like learning from everyone else, too.
Yeah, speaking of personalization, we're now working on a very interesting case. How many of you guys heard of Spark email? Okay, a few people. Okay, as an email experience, we're adding right now we've added the AI, and that's just phase one. So it makes it easier for you to write email, to respond to people just with one click, or you can give a prompt to create an email, and that's within the email app experience. So it's very easy and native and seamless. And the phase two would be, and that's what the team is working right now, is the actually learning your tone of voice. So it can know like how you write. How do you prefer a longer email? Do you prefer a more friendlier conversation? And learning all of kind of how you write emails, and then using that personalized data to help you write emails as if it's just been written by you. So this is right now in active stage of development. We're now trying to understand how do we tweak models, and do we do things on the device, online? How do we manage the privacy, security concerns of people's data? Because it's very, very important for us as an email provider, right? But as an ex-CMO, VP of marketing, my dream for personalization would be matching this gap between what people see in the ads, and then create a personalized user experience for the onboarding that's kind of customized to the intent. So that would be something that maybe that exists, and if it does, I'd like to talk to you, because we'd love to implement that, because we've spent countless days and months iterating and creating these ads and onboarding experiences and testing, A/B testing within the onboarding. So that would be amazing, and I think I know a few companies who are working on this already, and the conversions there will just skyrocket. That's 100%. Thank you.
Thank you. So Dan, from your experience, let's talk a bit about generative AI. How do you see the opportunities that are ahead of us? How do your company is going to leverage generative AI for its use? And if you see any threats, let's share it, because in the end, it will replace, in many cases, personas, and in other, maybe it will enable our personas to be much clever, sophisticated, and creative.
Yeah, so I think that the future of AI combined with games, it's like, I think the integration itself is the challenging part here. Obviously, we all go to a personalization and segmentation, which will go deeper and deeper, and will become, I think today, when you think about AI and when you start integrating stuff into the games, so it mostly goes to, it's like today you do the ideation already, right, and storytelling. This is, of course, something that goes without saying. And I think that the next thing that everybody noticed already is art side, right? And this is something, art is something that wasn't touched for a long time in the gaming industry. I mean, it was costly. You used either like an internal or a lot of external vendors to complete a lot of content that you try to achieve. And I think that this is the opportunity that we see, creating a lot of content very fast, segmented, on the fly.
So are you using generative AI for those uses?
So today we do a couple of tests. We're trying to do this either internally with our teams, and also combined with some third parties that have these systems that we can use on our side. And yeah, I mean, there's like so many opportunities right now, but yeah, I think that art will be the first one, because this is something that is everybody sees the potential in the use cases.
Sure. But what is the KPI in this case? It's about efficiency. It's about new art that has never seen before. How do you see it? Because in the end, AI is very sensitive to the use case and for the KPI.
So yeah, so it's there. It's about creating more volume of content, right, for the user, but it's now more personalized, right? So I think that we'll start with something that has like a side inventory. You'll still have to create something, put it on the side, and then use it to segmentize. And I think that with time, it will be on the fly, meaning people will go inside and you will know what will be their experience, but it will be built automatically as they go. And this is where it will become exciting, I think.
Yeah, totally agree here. The generative AI connected to the art is like already like booming, right? You can have and can see a lot of great examples how art is like just outstandingly done, generated great with a high quality. And in our case of the advertising in digital field, so we are also like starting to test out the different scenarios of generative AI in terms of the creatives, what type of ad to show to the end user, right? How to attract him, and we're receiving a lot of back data, what need to be adjusted from the output which we got, right? So it can go really seamless, and before to create like couple of ads iterations, it took like plenty of time. Now it takes just a milliseconds, and we can produce like thousands and thousands of ad sets, test ABX tests, constantly ongoing, which is great. And I just wanted to ask the audience, have you seen the new Black Mirror season first series? I don't want to do a spoiler.
We saw Joanne.
Okay, so have a look. Like that's something what's gonna happen pretty soon.
You have the quantum computer in your company?
Yeah, we're building one like in the backyard. Yeah.
Here's an idea for startup. Karen?
I wanted to add that it's many different types of creative. Okay, there's the whole product itself, the UI, UX, and there's the whole marketing aspect. So they all have different needs, just like a UI, UX graphic designer performs things differently than a marketing graphic designer. And we've tested many different platforms, including Midjourney, Layer AI, and they do an amazing job in shortening the cycle, okay? But we today still need someone to take it and actually cut it into the layers and create the final product. So we're not there yet. When you asked about challenges, I would say that there's a big challenge when people who are in this room now understand AI. There's a whole bunch of people who don't have any idea of the threat or opportunity that's facing us. And so they're more hesitant, including people who are now with the job and concerned about their own position. But in the end, I really believe, I connect to what you said, where it'll enable everyone to take, pick up their heads and have, a computer create their actual day-to-day tasks, and then they can be more strategic.
Totally.
And still take everything, and we all know we can't rely on ChatGPT entirely now. We've seen many examples where it's not accurate. So you still need to use your mind, your brain. These are things that can't be replaced. And in the end, we won't be replaced by AI, but we'll be replaced by people who use it. So it's definitely something we want to, embrace and be in the front of.
Okay, good. Speaking of human in the loop and changes, another angle that is very challenging from two AI transformations that I've led in the past and in the present is how to engage senior managers, how to engage the business to believe in it. After all, AI in the lab is acting in one way, and in real life, shit can happen. So what are we doing? How do we manage this balance, this stress? Dennis, what do you think?
I think we're quite lucky because our senior management is pretty involved and they love the idea. So we jumped on the ship and we had a bunch of Zoom calls and the ideation process. And it's not just senior management, it's also everybody in the company has a voice and can share ideas what could be built. The way we think about it is not by how do we simplify the process of creation things, but now mostly on a product side, because we are at core, at our heart, we want to build great products. Yeah. So we're thinking, okay, what could be done on product side using AI to actually create new experiences for the people? And yeah, it's been happening across all of the products that we have right now. And some of the ideas already implemented. Some of them are planned for this quarter.
Yeah. And one more question. Do you believe in AI from the shelf? Taking AI as a commodity and implement it just like that?
So we've done, I'll be very honest, we've done that. We took OpenAI and integrated into Spark. And honestly, the results are highly dependent on the skills of the prompts that are being input. So, but also people are not trained to do great prompts. So, and that's kind of determines the results of the email. And our job right now is to basically make it easier, create better user experience, or even predict what you want to say in your email. Because just if you take it from the shelf, without even like personalizing, as I mentioned, it doesn't do amazing job.
Thank you. Dan, what do you think?
Regarding senior management, I think they understand strategically how important it is for the future of the company, and the challenge is more for in the team itself that will show the potential, so the senior managers can just say, go and do it. And for the ones that need help, I mean, the thing is to just introduce AI to them. It sounds stupid because, I mean, all of us like use AI today, but people actually afraid that it will replace them, right? And as Karen mentioned, right? They will be replaced by someone who uses AI. And it's not only thinking about the advantages that you will get for your company. You need also to think about the career of the people in your team. And once they leave your company, their next job will involve an AI, right? So you want to give them also tools for their life and for their career, and not only for what you're going to achieve.
Very good point. And before we will close this panel with interesting questions, speaking of Black Mirror, in 2-3 sentences, Arthur, how do you see the advertising strategies are changed thanks to AI? You spoke a bit about the prediction lifetime value, and we know all the drama in the privacy world, SCAN and iOS 17 and so on.
Yeah, so we clearly see where all the digital and ad tech industry from the big brothers is going to, right? It's gonna be a fully black box for advertisers, marketers, like totally. We will not have any way how to manipulate into the results, into how the buying process is going on, because, and that's, I would say I totally agree with that, as algorithms based on the AI, machine learning, etc., they will work much better comparing what we will try to do based on custom campaign setups, as we think that could work better, right? So we should keep some stuff automated via the AI in a core as a system, which will do all the hardest stuff, which we can't do just because it's almost impossible, right? In terms of the amount of the data and so on. So clearly AI will stay. It's just starting up, right? It's just starting up in that tech industry. We will see a lot of new one-man shows in terms of the new companies established, which will be led by only one single person.
Totally.
Who will be able to cover a lot of stuff through that one-man show, combining with AI powers and technology. So, yeah.
Good. First of all, thank you all. And since reality is much more interesting than any TV series or Black Mirror, 3 years from now, the panelists that will be here instead of you, what would they say? In 2 sentences, each one of you. What will be changed, really?
I think 3 years from now, there will be changes, but I don't see it being as significant as in the next generation. I think that 3 years from now, there will be discussions about what to learn, what to study, what to tell our kids to do. Because when we once would tell them all to go into information systems and learn how to code, the people who are going to be really critical are the people who decide what the end product is going to be, and not necessarily the person who does the code. So I think that in 3 years from now, or at least I hope, there'll be more discussions about ethics and how we can integrate AI into the world in a way that's sustainable, and how to still, have a career and make money and succeed, but in a way where we use our minds a bit more. You know, I've been in many companies where we've always had, you know, the new people coming and saying we're doing so much manual labor. So finally this dream is here. So I hope that the panel will have a lot of smiling people outside just saying how many new ideas they have and what they want to do.
Thank you.
I think the world will get way more exciting and our jobs will become even more interesting because as you mentioned, the automation will be there. And we will be kind of operators on a higher level because things will be done automatically. And we can spend our times and days thinking about cool concepts and ideas and then pushing them to our users immediately and seeing the results and working with that. It's kind of working at a higher level. So I'm super excited about that.
Thank you.
I think in 3 years, people will look at this panel and laugh because all our prediction will be...
They actually will be avatars
yeah,
from the Web3,
like
not people at all.
They just didn't understand where it goes or something like that.
Virtual room, no more conferences.
Completely. But I think people will understand how to use it similar to how they use Google today, right? Search engines, something like that. You won't have to tell people why it's important. The question will be how to integrate, how to use it, how to take it to the next level. And I think legal issues will step up. Ethics and legal. But if it's like for ethics is a moral issue for the culture of, I don't know, for outside of the company, but I also talk about like risk for the company.
Who owns the data of generative AI that you created somehow?
Yeah, I totally agree. We had plenty of discussion about the lawsuits which are already happening right across the globe with the big names and companies involved. Who owns the data? Okay, the input is yours, but the output, like whose output it is, right? So it will be we'll oversee a lot of new suits cases, like for a long time for sure, when we'll get some new foundations, how it's all going to be treated. And for sure in different markets it will be treated differently, right? I'm not pretty sure it's going to be one global solution for all. So it will be for sure interesting, and for sure people will be able to be more creative, right? They will not think about small things which takes times and ages to produce, to craft, to do. It will be much faster, and people will be able, like, much more creative, enthusiastic, and able to do really great stuff, right? So everything will be under one button click, let's say.
Good.
On that front, I just want to add
one
that.
Sentence.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, just the legal front. I think in a few years we'll also see a rise of technology companies that will help us decipher between what was AI generated and what wasn't. You know.
Right.
And that'll go across every field.
Interesting. So thank you all for joining us, and thank you for the great panelists. We can take a few takeaways. First of all, AI requires leadership in the companies and outside the companies, and when you're taking this ship to its new destiny. Second, the user experience based on personalization after the recommendation systems and the reinforcement learning. Now the generative AI will enable us to take it to its next phase. Third, don't forget human in the loop. It's all about how to make our people brighter, shiner, more creative. This is the base, as Karen mentioned. And new challenges ahead us with legal, with ethics, with can we trust the output that we get, and so on. For sure it will be interesting, so thank you very much.